Welcome back to the channel, Farm with Nick, for another episode, and really what is going to be my last episode here on Riverbend. So I am just kind of in spring now. I thought I would continue winter a little bit more. I ended up just playing, and then kind of on my own, I just said, all right, well, we're gonna go ahead now. And the rest of winter, I was moving those cattle over, and now I have some new heifers in here. Let me just go back. And I have some new calves in our red barn. I really like this setup too, by the way, having the calves in here. So you can see we have some new little ones in here. And there's actually 99 in there. That's how much it fits. And then we have our heifers in here. And then the other ones are all in that main barn across the road now. And then let's fill up the other breeding pen with another set. But yeah, and this is it. So kind of bittersweet here. I really did enjoy this build. I really enjoyed playing on this farm. But I think it is time to move on and get to some other things, other series. So I'm only 37, a little smaller, but also get to some other farm builds, but some other maps as well. So I think it's time to move on from this farm. I really did enjoy it, like I said, and this was really I feel like my big farm, besides my Alma series right now. This is my big farm for FS25. Got a lot of great responses from this build. A lot of you joined the channel based on seeing this, and a lot of you are playing on this build as well. And I don't know if you're still playing on it. And my intent was to keep going on it a little bit, especially with some of the new mods that have come out. But I decided, well, I'm going to change gears a little bit and save those mods for my other series that I'm going to be playing on. So that's kind of where I'm at. I kind of want to go through the build, what I like about it, what I didn't like, or maybe what I didn't get to, and honestly in the end, I feel like I did spend a whole lot of time on this build, even though I feel like I only scratched the surface though too. So with all of that said, let's jump into build mode. So I'm coming up on, I think this is year 3 in game. Probably one of the longer playthroughs I've ever played on a map. Usually, even if it was off camera, if I wasn't, playing for YouTube and stuff, I probably wouldn't be playing this long. Usually I just start, going to a different map, but honestly, it had me slow down and really appreciate what I had, and then really kind of be a little more thoughtful with how I do things. So first, let me show you where this build is again. It's been a long time. You almost have to go back to episode 1. So here's Riverbend. I feel like, and I did many builds around Riverbend. Here is the starting farm. I think it's 80 here. Let's just visit it. No, this is not it. It's the horse farm. And where was it? Was it down? Oh, it was over here. It was field 1. All right. Here's the starting farm. Okay. All right, so here's the starting farm. Here was town for Riverbend, and then mine was just north of town. And really, I kind of just stayed up here in this northern part Riverbend. Honestly, I feel like I barely scratched the surface with this map, and I could come back to it. Um, and I did do like a nice build on field 22, so check that out. I know some of you are playing on that. I also did a really cool build. It was down here. It was field 78. I did a really cool build as well, based off of a real farm. So check that one out if you haven't. But I could even go back to 78, and then you could even farm just like the southern part of Riverbend, which I just never did. Just because I kind of stayed up here, kind of kept to myself, and just kind of kept to these fields. I expanded out to 25, but mainly my fields were, right here. This was my bread and butter for the series that I kept playing on. And then the main farm was here at 44, 45. And then I kind of expanded out a little bit, past the farmer's market, but really not much in the end. So that's kind of where, I ended up here on the build. So the original farm, if you have to go back to the beginning of this series as well, I placed this farmhouse. I had this extra little pole barn. Now, one thing I'll get to right away, one thing I would say I would redo is getting rid of this pole barn. Honestly, for me, I never really used it. It was so small with the doors. And honestly, I tried to get things in there. You can see there's a pickup and a mower. And that's about how far I got in all the episodes on Riverbend. So I would definitely change that barn out now. But I mean, it kind of went with everything. At the time of this build, I was more limited by what was out for mods. And since making this video now, there's a lot more. So, but that's to be expected. A brand new game to Farming Simulator, like, you're only going to get so much, and I added a lot of these other decorations, the pool. I added a lot of this other stuff after the build as well. But then directly across the road, I think this is where people, really liked the layout and construction because of how nicely it kind of fit in to these pre-built fields by giants. So I really do like this build. I feel like it's almost like a staple with how it fit in here so well. I know Simulation Station, shout out to you. He, if you haven't checked out his channel, he did a build kind of based off of this. He never really played on it unless I missed that. But he was going to, but yeah, his build was very similar and based off of this farm. So I had the main farm barn right here. Had the orientation of it. I liked this, and this was one that came with FS25 right away. And then these little red barns that are kind of scattered around the property. You can put another one there at the extension, another one here. This is out of a farm pack, and just trying to place these in a way that looked, pleasing, took some time, but I think it turned out really great. I'm really happy. I actually used these barns, unlike other series that I have played on. I used them quite a bit. I filled them up, and sometimes I ran out of space, so then I actually parked outside. It was great. It wasn't like wasted space, like this barn over here. So I was really, really happy with that. And I like the orientation of the layout and how these really kind of fit in to the terrain. Yes, and it did take a while to, get them to fit and then get the slope. So it wasn't just overnight. And then I had these fertilizer bins. I did not even use these, so yep, that was only for decoration. You could use them, I just never did on my build. And then like a little buying station here. You can see all the silage that I made on all the episodes. and like going through the winter, really I would have made it through, because I did sell off a lot of the cattle in these other pens. So but that was really cool to have this like little loading zone here. I really did like that, and I enjoyed doing that. I'll probably keep doing it on my other builds. This other little barn here I had other stuff over here, but I ended up moving that. This bale storage, you can see, look at all the hay that I've made on this series, all the straw, some other silage. So I did use this. The one thing with this, it was a tight corner here. It was doable, but depending on what I was driving through, it was a little bit tight. And if I could, I would kick back this fence line just a little bit. Not much, just a little bit, but that would require building the whole fence again, and I just never got back to it. The breeding pens here, how they kind of loop around, and then I have another breeding pen over here, kind of looped around this field. I really did enjoy the layout of this. I'm gonna miss kind of playing on it. I always say, well, I might come back and play on it. It never happens. It would be cool. Like, I'm not gonna delete the save game. It would be cool to come back, and actually playing it a little bit, pick up where I left off right here in May, and kind of going into year 3 more. But the layout is just so spectacular, and to use the roads here built by giants, I thought that was one of my better builds. And then let's go over here. I put in a corn crib eventually. There was like an old little shed decoration that I took out, and then things out here, so that all worked. Let's go over this way. So then this was one of the first barns to the game, this red barn. And this was just a breeding barn, and when I built the farm, I didn't know and read the instructions wrong, so I had another barn over here that was for the dairy operation. So I kept this. I didn't change anything, and now as of making this video, you can change this red barn out for like a milking barn that looks identical, but it has like a milk trigger. But I just kept it. I didn't change it out. So then it really just kind of turned into my calf barn, which is quite large. But I liked that, and I liked, the little pasture that came with it that I made. And then we had a watering tower right there that I used to get the water for these breeding pens. So that was a good placement. I did like that. And then over here, this is the expansion, and I forget which episode it was even in. But I took out the old cow barn here that was for dairy, and then replaced it with this setup. And honestly, that was one of my things I did not like, was the initial setup. But to be a dairy farm, I had to do it, and it was, which barn was it? I think it was this one. I want to say, yeah, it was one of these, and I placed this down, and it was like kind of like right here-ish, and then I just made a custom field for it around here. But yeah, I'm really happy with this setup. When I got to that part in the build and kind of expanding, it took me a while because I wanted to get it right, and I wanted to get something that kind of matched the rest of this farm. And honestly, I never really got to a point before where I actually like really expanded a farm. So that was really cool to be on this farm for a while and then really kind of expand it out. So one of my regrets is not using this red barn. Really, it kind of was just decoration. I stored some things in it, but didn't use it. Same thing with this silo. Also did not use it. These smaller barns I did use a little bit to park things in, but otherwise you can see semis, auger wagon just stayed out. And then looping this way, I really do like this white dairy barn here, and it only holds 80, which I know is not a lot, but in the end, I really did like having that. I think it really tied in nicely with the rest of the farm. And then if you check out some of my other builds, I did end up using that mod as well on other builds, just because I liked it so much. But then I copied the layout of this, how you could drive up and then around and out to the road, and then you could do the same thing over here. And that turned out, and it looks great. It looks like it was part of the original design, in my opinion. And then I added a large pasture, and this is a mod when it came out. It was like from the buildable feedlots, and it holds like up to 1,000 cattle. So I have a lot in here now. It's kind of cool to kind of see the farm grow that way. But I really like this kind of setup, and I'm really, really pleased with that. So I wasn't happy with the first one, but when I'm trying to get a new a build out and stuff, that's kind of where I was at and placed that first dairy farm here. So there you go. Let's think. Oh, the field stuff. I did use this field quite a bit, the small one over here. I got to these, a handful of times, and now that I'm in spring, I'd have to come and do some tilling here. This field and these other grass fields, I did a lot of grass work, and I'm really pleased with these fields. I loved how close they were to the farm, and I just love the setup and having these 3 grass fields. So I am going to miss doing hay and silage out here. And I never did this field as a grass field, but that was something I really kind of wanted to get to, just never did, and just kept putting corn there. So that is that for the field work. I did have this field up here. I remember placing other things up here to kind of tuck things away, have my semis up here, but then as I expanded the operation, I put it over here. So there you go. That is my custom build on Riverbend. Let's see where to put my gator. That's what I was looking for. I'm kind of do a last drive around. So like I said, kind of bittersweet. I really did like playing on this. And oh yeah, I opened up this tree line on one of the episodes. You could see the river a little better. So I really like that as well. And I don't know, if I had to do it again, I love the location. It took me a while to find this location when starting on Riverbend. I was playing on the starting farm at Grandpa's, and I think I made around 10 episodes on there, if I'm not mistaken. And I really did like that farm. However, after a while, I was like, well, let's see if I can make a custom farm here on Riverbend. And that's how I kind of got here with this one. So I really do, appreciate all of you that joined the channel for watching this build, and all of you that wanted to play on this this build of mine here. Like, this was one of the first ones that I got like a huge outpouring of feedback and people wanting the save game, and that really meant a lot to me. And people not in the US either, in other countries. I remember using Google Translate for a couple of you, and that was really fun, kind of talking back and forth in different languages. But you really liked the build, and I appreciate it, so absolutely I gave it to you. if you are just finding, with that being said, if you are just finding the channel now, based off of this video, feel free to send me an email. And honestly, I have an updated build with all of the new barns here, so I can send that updated Riverbend Springs build to you. That's the updated version with this new edition on it, not the original one. Unless you did want the original one, I have that saved as well. So but yeah, I appreciate all of you kind of tagging along on this series. I can kind of tell like it's almost dwindling down a little bit as the episodes are coming out, but then viewership is going down a little bit. But that's okay. That's just like kind of the life cycle of YouTube and the life cycle of making videos. Feel free to check out my other playthrough series now that this one is kind of wrapping up, and feel free to check out my new playthrough series to come, and hopefully you enjoy those that I'm starting up and working on in the meantime now. So thank you so much for joining me here on this final episode on Riverbend Springs, my custom dairy farm. And if you are new to the channel, I'd love to have you tag along here and check out this and other builds and playthrough series, with that being said. So with that, I'll let you go. I'll stop kind of yapping there. Thanks so much for joining me here on Riverbend, and hope you guys have a good one. Take care.